Hi, everyone. We want to welcome you to this week's recording of Know Your Troc. Our hope here is to be able to introduce one of our members, one every week, just to give you the chance to know who our current roster of dancers is. We have a plethora of dancers from a bunch of different countries who come from very different backgrounds, and we are very proud of that. Today, we're going to chat with Felix Molinero del Paso,
Hi
from
everyone.
Spain, whom we have here. And I'm just going to ask him a few questions so you get to know a little bit more about him. Before we delve into those questions, I do want to point out that you can always follow us on Instagram at Le Ballet Trockadero, and you can follow Felix personally at Felix Marquez, both of us on Insta. So, hi, Felix. Thank you for
Hi
being
everyone.
here. Why don't
It's a
you just
pleasure.
tell the viewers a little bit of where you're from, what's your background, just so people get to know you a little better?
Okay, so I'm from Vega, is a small town in the city of Granada in the south of Spain. And I started dancing when I was 9 years old at the Conservatory of Reina Sofia here in Granada. And I started doing like 4 years of elemental basic, like learning ballet, Spanish dance, flamenco, contemporary. And after these first 4 years, so I did like a audition to go to the program of ballet
Mm-hmm.
for 6 years. And after that I finished it in
Mm-hmm.
2016. I moved to continue my studies because in Spain they don't allow us. There is no chance to do like a university or like a career of dance. So I moved to Frankfurt in Germany, and I did an audition too, and they took me, and I'm just almost finishing my studies there now, right now.
So, how did you decide to maybe come and audition for the Trocs? How did you hear about the Trocs?
Well, actually, it's quite funny because I always hear about, a company that was all male in drag, doing comedy in punch shoes. And I was like, oh, so cool. But, I never put like a lot of attention in that moment. But actually, like 1 year and a half ago, like my teacher told me that maybe I could try punch shoes to improve my footwork, my ballet technique too. And I said, why not? I mean, why not? Why you man we cannot do punch shoes? So I started, and she was impressed with me at the moment. Like she was like, well, you are developing in a good way. And do you know about Ballet Trocadero? And I was like, yeah, I think so. Like I'm not sure, 100% sure. And she told me, yeah, all this ballet company that is all men that doing ballet shows, and they do roles of women and men, and it's comedy too. And I say, yeah, I hear about them. So I started to check it out. Like I saw the website, I saw some videos, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's freaking unbelievable. Like I wish I could, like someday I could do something like that. She told me, like, well, I mean, you don't lose anything for write an email and see what they are doing, if they are doing auditions or what is happening with them right now. And that, I at the moment I wasn't really sure. I was like, I mean, come on, I just started like 1 month and a half, like point shoes, how I'm gonna be myself there. I mean, it's gonna be impossible. So for a while, it was like a question, like my friends against me, like, oh my gosh, Felix, it's just an email. Where are you gonna lose for write an email? So at the end, they make me change my mind, and okay, and I wrote an email. And I'm a kind of person that sometimes thinks that things happens for a reason, and in that moment I was in the right time, at the right moment, at the right place. So I was lucky that you were in Leipzig doing a tour for a week. That is a
Right.
city there is like 4 or 5 hours from Frankfurt. And you told me, yeah, you just can come. We are here in Leipzig, and we are gonna do a show for a week. So just come and do classes with us, and let's see what happens. So I have the pleasure that you invite me to do it, and have the pleasure to know you. And in the beginning, we did like some classes, and thanks to you that you give me a ticket every night to see your show. And I was a pleasure to see you the first time in live. I was completely mesmerizing and super impressed. And I was like, in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, I wish that one day I could do something like that.
It came
And you
sooner than
see that,
expected, though.
Yeah. And of course, I had the pleasure to see from the curtains from the side and see how is the atmosphere from the dancers in that moment before we start the show and everything. And you can feel the tension, no? That you are like they are preparing and they are concentrating in what they wanted to do and try to deliver the best show possible. So after the week passed, well, I had the lucky that one of the dancers get injured, and I had the possibility to move to New York, the rehearsals, and my first tour, the talent
That's
tour.
great that you had a teacher that actually encouraged you to audition for the trucks, because if you go back 15, even 10 years ago, that was probably not the case. So
Oh, for
for
sure.
us, it makes us feel proud to know that teachers now encourage younger dancers or earlier in their career to consider us as an option. And so far in your career, what have you enjoyed the most about being a truck so far?
Oof. Actually, the thing should be it would be like which thing I didn't enjoy yet. Like
Oh,
I
that's
think I
good.
enjoy everything. Like I didn't know anything about makeup, wig,
Mhm.
so I was completely like out of the zone. I was like, okay, but it's a challenge, so I'm gonna take it. I love challenge, so a part of the work in point shoes, I thought, okay, this is gonna be a challenge too. So I think for me that the most exciting thing for being a truck, one of the things that I enjoy more is this moment that we are in curtains after doing the makeup, we are preparing, and we start the speeching, and for me, or I just hear the beginning of music of Swan Lake, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's the adrenaline all over my body, and I'm like, oh my
That's
gosh, I'm
amazing.
excited. I wanted to do it as best as I can, and it's gonna be excited to see all these people because we have a really cool reaction from them, so that make us even say like, okay, let's gonna try even harder and do the best that we can. So I think
Great.
it's probably the thing that I enjoy
So you've done a few tours with us already. What would you say is the worst or the funniest thing that has unplanned thing that has happened to you in the tours that you've done, either on stage or off stage? I hope you're
most.
saying the story
Oh my
I would
god.
say.
From stage, I think maybe my worst. I mean, at the moment it was the worst, but now I laugh about it. It was the first show in Thailand. The first show we do our ballet class, we do the rehearsal, and of course, already was the stress of how we divide the stage, the center, the quarters, the eights, the Spanish marks, and so I'm like, put your feet here, over there, and be running and follow the lines. And I was like, oh my gosh, this stage from that moment, that stage was the biggest that I have ever had the pleasure of dance.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh my gosh, it's completely overwhelming. And of course, after normally we have like 1 hour and a half, 1 hour for doing makeup, and it was the first time that we do makeup for me, at least for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just have 1 hour. So thanks to my mates from the other trucks that they helped me out to doing all this makeup, and I was running out like, oh my gosh, I need to dress, and everyone was like, come on, Felix, you need to make it, whatever, come on, just stop doing this and let's go and do this. And of course, the first moment I was terrifying. Of course, I think we had like 2,000 audience there,
Yeah.
almost sold out. Of course, the pressure of being in the company, all these people that paid to see us, and my first show, I was like, oh my gosh. And
It's not
after
even
finishing, I
fun.
was
It goes too fast. You're too scared. It's not even a fun show.
no. It's not a fun show. It's a stress. I remember that I finished it exhausted. I was so
Yeah.
exhausted.
Like a truck hit you.
Yeah,
Not a
and of
truck,
course, my
but a
first
truck.
fly. And my
Yeah.
first fly that with the jet lag from New York, Japan,
Right.
and
The whole
Bangkok.
thing. Right. And so, how are you managing to stay in shape right now? With the pandemic, are you doing anything
Yeah.
specific to stay in shape physically and mentally?
Yeah, actually, thanks God, we are in stage 2, so we are
Oh,
not
insane.
completely
Right.
locked down. So we didn't have the pleasure yet to have the chance to go to a studio and start to do ballet. But I'm doing actually a lot of workout that I have never done before. So I'm like pushing myself, like, come on, it's
Great.
time to maybe try other things.
Right.
And at the time that I was dancing too, I was doing a lot of tennis since I was 8. So I'm playing tennis too again to to doing like have the adrenaline and the stamina for a ballet class is helping me out, and a lot of workout. And mentally, I'm like thinking in a way of trying to be positive. And I always say that things always happen for a reason, and from bad things you can always take something positive. So I think this pandemic helped us to realize how important is the family, how important is like like you sometimes we put priorities to other things that maybe are not so important. And in these moments of this chaotic and this craziness, you realize how important is your family, your friends. And thanks God that my family is okay and all my friends and their families are okay. So I'm like really enjoying my time with my family and when I see now my friends. And yeah.
Yeah, and grateful about that too, that we're able to actually be with our families at this time, which not everybody can say. Well, I want to thank you. Thank you very much for giving us this time and this space so people can know a little bit more about you. Before we say goodbye, do you have any final thoughts for the viewers? Any message that you want to share?
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say to everyone that is gonna watch us, like, try to be positive. I know there is hard times. I know actually recently what happened in New York with George Floyd. It's super disappointing. It's super sad. So we need to. I think this pandemic should make us better persons and better people. Um, Try to don't go against each other. We should be all together in once against this virus, and don't try to destroy between us because it's so sad. I mean, and it's so disappointed. So I just want to send a message of positive, and that the people please help out each other, try to support, try to lean on. When it's a hard time, try to lean on in your family. And if someone is in a bad time, just try to make them feel better. So I just want to wish the best, and I hope that things are gonna get better soon.
Thank you, Felix. Thank you to anybody that was watching. Remember, it's really important for us to stay connected with you during these times. Like Felix said, the best way we know how to do so is by bringing cheer and positive feelings to everyone. It's just what the Trock's contribution to the world is. So stay with us, stay safe, stay positive, and keep on trucking. Bye, Felix. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.